Hi everybody, my name is Lou Wadzinski and I am a 6-time participant in AIDS Lifecycle. This will make my 7th year. And I wanted to put together a video for you guys to show you some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way as far as packing and getting your stuff up to San Francisco. Stay tuned and let me show you a few things. Alright, so before I go into the meat of the subject, which is going to be packing and packing tips, I wanted to show you a couple tricks that I've learned along the way as far as getting other things up to San Francisco. So, unless you like going into the back room of some TSA office, there are certain things that you cannot fly with, such as compressed CO2 cylinders and lithium-ion batteries. That being said, most people in Southern California are going to be taking or using ACE Productions to get their bike up to Northern California. ACE doesn't really care if you have compressed CO2 cartridges or lithium-ion batteries because their trucks go at sea level with normal pressures and normal atmospheric temperatures and nothing really strange happens. So that being said, you can pack all of those things in with your bike. So let me show you a couple things. So first off, one of the things that I've always had on my bike has been this handlebar bag. Handlebar bag is great for many things. You can put in handy dandy rain poncho, which I've used twice in the last 7 years, and it has come in so much handy. This one is from REI. It's actually a little bit pricey. It was like $70. You can get cheaper ones than that. I highly recommend it. It has rained on 2 days that I have done the ride, and I didn't have it the first time. I had it the second time. The second time, while it wasn't exactly a fun experience, was bearable. The first time just sucked. That being said, though, pack that along with your bags. But you've got this handy dandy little handlebar bag. Costs $6 on Amazon, not very expensive. And what you can do is you can go ahead and grab your batteries, load this bad boy up. Well, that's one way to get those up there. Another little tip that I have for you is for water bottles. So if you go ahead and unscrew your water bottles, you can just go ahead and put those on there for transportation. And go ahead and drop your CO2 cylinders in there if you want to take some up there. Now, you don't have to bring CO2 cylinders up there with you. They will sell those in the camp store. But it's just a neat little trick, and that will get that up there, and you can save a few bucks. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is a compression sack. So a compression sack is something that they use in camping to compress, put things inside of it. Hence the name. Those crazy marketing people. And what you do is you go ahead and you put things into it. In this case, we're going to put in a sleeping bag and a pillow. A lot of people don't recommend bringing a pillow because it takes up space. I recommend bringing a pillow because it is going to help you sleep. You'll be more comfy, and you don't want to be doing 545 miles on not enough sleep. So I've got this pillow. I'm going to put that in here. So keep in mind, I can't find my compression sack that's the proper size, so I'm using this one that's a large, so it's not going to get it down as small as I want it to, but for demonstration purposes, and you guys will get the idea. Piece of advice on buying a compression sack: don't buy it off of Amazon. I've done that before, bought the wrong size, unless you know what you're looking for. And then you have to deal with either keeping a compression sack that you'll most likely not use, or trying to find some way to return it to Amazon. So once you got your stuff in there and you close it up on top, you just put the top over it, and once the top is on here, I've got these handy dandy straps that'll compress it down. Take all the air out of it. And smush it down into something more manageable. Now, if I had the proper size, I wouldn't be doing this on the tabletop. I would actually be sitting on it on the floor and squeezing and pulling with all my might to get as much space out of it. Don't pull with completely all your might if you're strong, because you'll break the bag, and that would suck. But this will actually smush down even further than that if you have the proper size. It'll probably get down to about the size of a bowling ball. That being said, with that in here, it becomes a very manageable size. You can stick it in your bag. So a lot of people will tell you to go and get a sleeping mat from REI that they use for camping. And those mats are like thermal mats. They're about an inch thick, this thick, and they are absolutely horrible on the ride. Most of the places where you'll be setting up tent will be on top of gopher holes and pits and gullies and the Grand Canyon. Maybe not as big as the Grand Canyon, but it's not exactly the most smooth, level ground. What I recommend instead is just an air mattress. This is a twin-size air mattress, and I'll put the link in with the YouTube page. Neat thing about this one, which I don't know if I want to completely unroll it, but I just I'm not going to completely unroll it. But it right here, this is the blow-up. It actually has a built-in pump. So you don't have to have batteries, you don't have to carry the blower with you, and you don't have to worry about running out of batteries. And it's really been just the most wonderful little mattress. It was only like $10, $20 on Amazon. And it works. It works really nicely. And so, go ahead and stuff that into the bag. Well, I'm going to put that on the bottom. So now that we have those two items in there, let me grab the camera here. You can see it's not leaving you very much space on the bottom part. And keep in mind that the sleeping bag and the pillow will mash down more than that. It's not leaving you a lot of space on the top. So we've got to get economical with our space and only pack what we need. So when you're in camp, you really don't need a lot of clothes. You're going to be cycling all day. You'll be not wearing your cycling clothes, of course. But you don't need a lot of clothes. What I normally bring is a pair of sweatpants, a sweatshirt, 3 or 4 t-shirts, socks and underwear, of course. But that's it. You don't really need jeans. Oh, and a pair of shorts. It's usually kind of warm when you get back in the afternoon, and it cools down off later. The other thing that I do is the sleeping bag, which I packed, which I should have showed you a little bit closer, isn't very thick. You don't need a very thick one. This is California, so the low temperatures will be about 50 degrees at the lowest. And what I do is I sleep in my sweats. So in the middle of the night, after you've been riding all day, you're going to be drinking before you go to bed water, not alcohol, because it's ALC. You'll be drinking water before you go to bed. And you are going to be completely needing to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. So if you wear your sweatpants to bed and you have a light sleeping bag, when you get out of your sleeping bag, you're not going to cool off as quickly as if you actually have to get dressed. You won't have to get dressed. You can find your way to the porta potty and back, and it's much easier. So that being said, the next thing which I'm going to show you is camp towel. We have a new puppy, and Lily went ahead and took the camp towel. Camp towels are, you can get them at REI. They're just very, very thin. As you can see, they kind of suck to use. I'm not going to sugarcoat that one. You just sort of tap yourself with them. But they don't take up a lot of space. The other thing which you're going to find is normal towels don't have enough time to dry. So you're going to get into camp, between 3 and 6 in the afternoon. You'll go to take a shower. If you're using your regular thick towel, you only have about 3 or 4 hours for it to dry before the dew starts setting in. Once it gets dark, the dew starts to settle down and nothing's going to dry anymore. These camp towels are great though, because they're lightweight, they dry out fast, they're moisture wicking. They're not very comfy. It's like drying yourself with sandpaper. So the next article which I'm going to recommend, since I've got the camp towel out, is going to be binder clips. Ooh, I got the wrong size. Binder clips And these are the big ones. You could probably get away with smaller ones like the medium ones. They're really cool because they will dig in and clamp onto the side of your tent. And once you get done with showering, you just go back and clip up your camp towel. You might want to bring a piece of rope. There's not very many places that you can actually hang things. And those places that are out there usually get taken up. But if you have binder clips, just clip it to the side of your tent and you're good to go. Next little trick is going to be Ziploc storage bags. And what you want to do, so for your cycling gear, you're going to get 7 of these bags and you're going to stuff your cycling gear in them. Just one for every day. And this is going to serve 2 purposes. Number 1, as I stated before, you don't have a lot of space in your tent. So as organized as you can get things into that bag as you possibly can, the better off you're going to be. Second aspect of it, which is nice, is once you get it to start to zip up, you sit down on it, and I'm not going to sit on it here because it's just sort of awkward and I don't want to bore the heck out of you guys, which I probably already am. Well, okay. Actually sit on it. It's not the most convenient thing to do. I'm not going to sit on it. But you can sit on it, you squish out all the air, and you're much better to go. Third thing that's good about this is once you're done for the day, you go and you shower, you get back to your tent, you might want to hang up your jersey, let it dry out a little bit. But you go ahead and stuff them back into the Ziploc bag, zip it up, you can put it back into your suitcase, and you're not going to stink up the rest of your clothes. Unless you're one of those people that actually don't sweat. Lucky you. So that's the next trick. Aside from that, that's pretty much all that I've got to tell you. The few last tips I'm going to have for you is before you even start packing, go ahead and go online and find one of the packing lists. Try to find one in Excel and modify it for your own needs. So I didn't show you everything that you're going to need on the trip, but what you want to do is you want to start out with a packing list, modify it for what you think you're going to need, and go off that list. Do that a couple weeks ahead of time. Start to think things through. As you're going down the route, you will be able to stop off at stores as you're riding every day. There'll be a camp store to have your basic toiletries and things like that if you forgot something. But otherwise, you're kind of stranded. A few of the stops, like King City, is out in the middle of nowhere. So if you need something, you're sucking. You're going to be borrowing from somebody. So you want to plan ahead and keep everything ahead of time. Anyways, that's about all that I have. I want to thank you for watching this and have fun. That's the main thing with this. Have fun as you ride down the coast, and hope to see you out there. Thanks.